Day 7 of my daily startup research challenge. Today, I dove deep into ClickUp, the everything app that exploded from an internal tool to a business with hundreds of millions in revenue. I've personally been using it with some of my remote teams because of the generous free tier they offer, so I chose to do a deep dive into this platform. But what surprised me was how scrappy their early growth was and the crazy revenue trajectory they've had. They went from zero revenue in 2016 to over 278 million by 2024. And did you know that 8 to 10% of their free users end up converting to being paid users? I had to understand how they pulled that off, what mistakes they made scaling, and why they are betting on AI to stay ahead. By the end of this research, I realized that the story of ClickUp is as much about resilience and culture as it is about the features that they set out to build in their platform. We will look at 4 big themes. 1. How ClickUp hacked its early growth and carved out a market. 2. The founder backgrounds and culture that drives its mission. Then 3, the financial journey from $1 million to nearly $300 million in revenue. And finally, how their bet on AI may shape the future of productivity. Let's get into it. I started by asking myself, how did an internal tool become a unicorn? In 2017, founders Zeb Evans and Alex Yokowski built ClickUp to solve their own pain. They were juggling dozens of apps and needed one place to manage work. The unique twist was letting users switch between lists and board views while keeping tasks, docs, goals, and charts in the same workspace. This ability to work the way you want became a core differentiator for ClickUp. But what really caught my eyes was Evans's description of their early growth hacking. Instead of spending heavily on ads, they wrote a script to scrape review sites for unhappy customers of competitors and message those people directly on LinkedIn with an invitation to try ClickUp. It's a scrappy tactic, I agree, but it worked because the product delivered value quickly. The team also committed to weekly release cycles, shipping new features or improvement every week. That cadence kept users engaged and gave them a reason to switch to ClickUp. The business model ties into this product-led approach. ClickUp offers a free tier that gives teams a taste of the product, but the key capabilities like advanced automation and granular permissions are gated. According to Electro IQ, this strategy converts 8 to 10% of free users to paid, far above the typical 2 to 5% rate for SaaS tools. It's not magic. They limit the free plan enough to make upgrading worthwhile. By 2024, they had 100,000 paying customers and over 10 million users. As I dug deeper, I realized that marketing played a huge role too. ClickUp doesn't feel like a stodgy enterprise tool. It uses bold, humorous ads, including a Super Bowl commercial, and positions itself as the everything app for work. Data shows that direct traffic accounts for about 75% of their website visits, and organic search brings in another 15%. Social media contributes less than 1%, but interestingly, Reddit, that's 47.88%, LinkedIn, 18.22%, and YouTube, 12.66% are their top social channels. It seems the community drives a lot of buzz around their product. This is where the human story gets fascinating. Zeb Evans is a serial entrepreneur who faced multiple near-death experiences, a boating accident at 10 and a home invasion in 2012, which instilled in him a sense of urgency and a desire to save people time. He's journaled for more than 11 years to reflect on lessons learned. Evans runs ClickUp with a product-first mindset, and he still leads the product roadmap and pushes for fast iteration. During a podcast with Tenanova, which I came across during my research, Evans admitted that scaling the team from 100 to 800 employees in 1 year created hiring misfires. Managers didn't always share the company's missions or values, and the product architecture struggled under the load. He later focused on hiring people who care about both their team and the company's success, balancing empathy with accountability. This is a reminder that culture can be tested when growth is explosive. Co-founder Alex Jokoski brings a complementary skill set. He studied computer science at the University of Notre Dame and worked at IBM, where he learned about cloud integration and user interface design. Yokoski's engineering focus helped him shape ClickUp into a unified platform used by teams at Google, Airbnb, and Uber. He insists on a core idea. Users should be able to work however they want, not be forced into rigid workflows. The culture that these founders built emphasizes urgent execution and continuous improvement. On the About page, ClickUp lists core values like grow 1% every day, be in the details, do hard things, be scrappy, and be fun to work with. Their mission is to save people time by making the world more productive, and they claim that 2 million teams are on this journey with them. That's a huge number. That combination of purpose and playfulness seems to resonate with employees and users alike. When I looked at ClickUp's financial trajectory, it felt like a roller coaster. The company reported $1 million in revenue in 2018, then 30 million in 2020, 80 million in 2021, 150 million in 2022, and 158.7 million in 2023. Then a giant leap to 278.5 million in 2024. That last jump represents about 75% year-on-year increase, highlighting how new products like their AI functionalities may be paying off for them. ClickUp bootstrapped to $10 million annual recurring revenue before ever raising any money. In December 2020, they raised $100 million Series B, citing 900% revenue growth and 200,000 teams. Less than a year later, they raised 400 million Series C at a 4 billion valuation, bringing total funding to about 537 million. Investors clearly believed in the everything app thesis that ClickUp had. Yet, not everything went smoothly. Evans admitted that scaling so fast led to technical debt. They had to re-platform their architecture to maintain reliability. And while revenue growth was explosive, it slowed between 2022 and 2023. That dip could reflect market saturation or macro headwinds. As of 2024, the company reported 100K paying customers out of 10 million users. The challenge now is expanding within enterprises and maintaining high conversion rates. The numbers also show the importance of optimizing the funnel that you're using. By design, the free tier gives users enough value but limits capacity. This drives conversion to paid plans and encourages adoption of add-ons like what they call the ClickUp Brain. Evans, who is a CEO, emphasizes that 8 to 10% conversion is a result of carefully balancing free and paid features. This last session is the part that excites me the most, so let's get into it. After analyzing dozens of productivity startups, I've noticed that AI is becoming table stakes. ClickUp isn't just adding AI, it's trying to weave AI into every part of work. In early 2024, the company released ClickUp Brain, a generative AI engine that writes project update summaries, automates stand-up reports, and lets users search across tasks, docs, and people. Later that year, they announced ClickUp Chat, a built-in messaging platform that converts messages into tasks, summarizes threads, and even suggests follow-ups. Evans openly talks about a world of super apps where AI stitches together communication, tasks, documents, and knowledge. He warns that rapid development of AI could actually erode differentiation because everyone is adding similar features. That's why ClickUp is racing to build a deep integration of AI. It hopes that users will rely on its natural network to connect information across platforms. I find it fascinating that Evans encourages hiring product managers who are actually users. He believes they have better product intuition. And this was quite interesting for me to know that go forward to hire your own customers if you're looking for product managers. There's also a broader competitive angle that we need to think about. Asana and Monday.com are adding AI assistants as well. Notion has built-in AI, Slack, Microsoft Teams. They dominate the workplace chat. ClickUp strategy is to unify all of these functions and make AI the glue of this. It's ambitious and risky, I can say. But if they pull it off, they could build a moat around the daily workflows of millions of people. So what can we actually take away from ClickUp's journey? Here are three tactics that I am considering for my own project and I believe would be beneficial to you as well. One, target dissatisfied competitors users. So ClickUp grew by finding unhappy users, as we've discussed. They found them on review sites and connected to them directly. So if you're entering a crowded market, then this is probably some of the things that you do: build scripts or processes to identify pain points and offer a better alternative to these people who are complaining. Then the next point is to iterate relentlessly and limit the free tier according to what they did. So also, their weekly releases, I believe, kept ClickUp top of mind for their users and allowed it to outpace slower competitors. At the same time, gating certain features pushed users toward paid plans, producing conversion rates of the 8 to 10% that we have mentioned. So if you want to follow this pattern, what I would say is for us to begin to think about how we design our free plan, and we have to design them carefully to encourage upgrades or without annoying the users. The next point would be to invest in AI thoughtfully. Now, AI is all over the place. So if you're building a new tool, it's the time to start thinking about it. ClickUp is betting that AI generated summaries and universal search will save users time. Even small startups can experiment with integrating AI for specific high-value tasks. The goal isn't AI for AI's sake, but AI that genuinely reduces friction. My personal reflection on this whole thing, or what I am taking away from for my own startup journey, is this. First, I'm inspired by the founder's resilience and humility. Zeb Evans turned traumatic experiences into a mission to save people time. Then Alex also focused on letting users work their way. That authenticity comes through in ClickUp's culture of growing 1% every day and being scrappy. So this concept of 1% growth is also something that I learned a lot from Steve Bally, the host for The Diary of a CEO. And I have been thinking a lot about this. So it was very important to see that a company is already practicing this. Secondly, the company's growth shows that you don't need a perfect product to scale. You need a product that solves a real pain and keeps getting better. So their willingness to reach out directly to unhappy users and iterate weekly demonstrates a level of hustle that is easy to admire. I mean, it's so wonderful to hear the story of ClickUp and how they actually got the users and kept them engaged using their product. Finally, I'm cautiously optimistic about the super app vision that they have. Part of me loves the idea of having everything in one place. Another part wonders if bundling charts, docs, tasks, and AI will not end up creating unnecessary complexity. My question is, what do you also think? Have you tried consolidating tools, or do you prefer specialized apps? Have you experimented with free to paid conversion? How are you thinking about AI in your own products? I believe that this was a great case study, and that is why I loved it when I dove into it. And I'm glad that I was able to tease out some of these lessons. If you enjoy such content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And also, if you have any startup that you want me to do a deep dive into, go ahead and comment it below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And thank you so much. Really appreciate. I wish you the very best on this startup journey. And I hope that one day you also build a successful startup company that I would be happy to analyze. Thank you, and see you in tomorrow's video. Until then, bye bye for now.